Hello, thank you for joining me here on the news summary. I am Sartayev with the latest news from Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan has marked the 20th anniversary of its constitution. The highest law of Kazakhstan was adopted in 1995. Sultan Sartayev is one of the developers of the current constitution. After 20 years, the academician recollects how the country moved from parliamentary democracy to a presidential one. Then they had to prove the presidential form of government is what independent Kazakhstan needed. The whole country discussed the adoption of the basic law in 1995. 3 million people of Kazakhstan were involved in collective meetings. More than 1,000 amendments were introduced in 55 articles prepared by the lawyers.
Нашей Конституции они отражали не только основные права и обязанности граждан, а прежде всего определяли.
Kazakhstan's constitution not only reflects the basic rights and duties of citizens, but it determines the structure of state agencies. It was designed to ensure the favorable social side of life.
Хорошую социальную сторону жизни, то есть быт, культура и так далее.
Sultan Nazarbayev announced about the need to make amendments in the main law of the country due to the creation of the Astana International Financial Center. According to the president, over the past 2 decades, Kazakhstan has proved its capacity to become a leader of the Central Asian region from being a weak post-perestroika state. Now the country shall move further. In the nearest future, Kazakhstan will revise 78 laws and regulations. New rules will be effective as of January 1st, 2016. Astana Financial Center will become one of the world's largest. Its main task is to attract investments in the country's economy.
Мы решили создать межгосударственный финансовый центр в Астане после проведения Экспо.
We decided to create an international financial center in Astana after the Expo and fully accept best practices of the Dubai Center. All work will be conducted in the English language there. English law and rights will be applied. All questions and challenges will be resolved there. It will give impetus to the entire law enforcement system. Building the state of the future, we are now standing on the threshold of new changes.
Last week, Prime Minister of Pakistan Nawaz Sharif paid an official visit to Astana. During the high-level meetings, global economic challenges were the most discussed topic. Amid numerous agreements sealed as a result of the meeting with President Nazarbayev, the parties have agreed to establish joint ventures in the light and pharmaceutical industries, signed an agreement to resume direct flights between Astana and Islamabad, and decided to link the railways and road corridors of Kazakhstan and Pakistan.
Despite the long history and friendly relations, the trade turnover between the two countries needs improvement. Kazakh president immediately pointed out the reason: lack of infrastructure, although both countries are interested in trade. Prime Minister of Pakistan Nawaz Sharif said that with the joint efforts, the problem can be solved and proposed Kazakhstan to join the current Pakistan-China transport corridor.
В этом вопросе главную роль сыграет транспортная связующая часть.
Transport links will play a major role in this issue. For example, the new railway line connecting Kazakhstan with the Persian Gulf through Iran will be a game changer. Iranian port city Bandar Abbas gives access to the ports of Pakistan, and we will be able to start trading. Air links between our countries and the new China-Pakistan program through Kazakhstan are things that were not available before. These transport links would allow us to improve the trade and economic relations between our countries.
Связи, они позволят нам улучшить экономические и торговые отношения между нашими странами.
The Pakistani delegation included numerous businessmen who arrived with various business projects.
Pakistan attaches great importance to enhancing its relations with Kazakhstan as well as with the Central Asian republics. And my government has a vision of establishing energy and trade corridors with the countries in Central Asia. We have discussed this subject at length on our one-on-one meeting just now. And I must also say that Pakistan is very keen to extend an invitation to Kazakhstan to join the China-Pakistan economic corridor, which will take you to the hot waters of the Arabian Sea at Gwadar port, which is the shortest route to sea for the Central Asian republics.
Your visit is a fresh impetus to our relations. which we established in 1992. The similarity of our relations on the international agenda, the centuries-old cultural ties of friendship bring us close to one another and make us brotherly countries.
Делают нас близкими братскими странами.
Transport logistics was also actively discussed at the meeting. The sides agreed to develop not only the air traffic but also connective railway and automotive branches. Several agreements in the field of energy and transport have been already signed. At the end of the meeting, Nawaz Sharif invited Nursultan Nazarbayev to visit Pakistan.
Negotiations between Kazakhstan and the UN Atomic Energy Watchdog have found closure in a recently signed agreement on establishing a low-enriched uranium bank in Kazakhstan. According to the Kazakh Foreign Ministry, the agreement with the International Atomic Energy Agency was signed on the 27th of August. The agreement stipulates placement of 90 tons of low-enriched uranium hexafluoride at the Olba metallurgical plant in Uсть-Каменогорск in the next 2 years. In the long term, the plant will launch a nuclear fuel assembly and fabrication.
Условия по созданию банка были неподъемные для многих стран.
The terms of establishment of the bank were tough for many countries. We needed an enterprise with a special license for the storage of the bank and an excellent track record in the field of non-proliferation. The socio-political situation in the country should be reliable and stable.
Обстановка в стране надежная, спокойная, стабильная.
China has officially confirmed its participation in the World's Fair to be held in Astana in 2017. Kazakhstan's Expo Commissioner and First Deputy Foreign Minister Rapil Jashabayev said during his visit to Beijing last week. The chairman of China's Committee for Promotion of International Trade, Jiang Tseng-Wei, handed the official confirmation to the Kazakh Expo Commissioner. China has become the 39th country that has officially accepted the invitation. China will be allowed to deploy a large pavilion due to its extensive experience in participating and hosting such large-scale events.
Чувствуется очень большой интерес китайских компаний в работе.
Chinese companies express great interest in the exhibition. They plan to take part in the exhibition that will be held in Astana to share their latest achievements.
И тех разработок, над которыми сейчас работает Китай.
Today, China is interested in finding alternative sources of energy since it reduces the use of coal annually. In 2022, by the beginning of the Winter Olympics, China is planning to significantly improve the ecological situation in the country. The new law on access to information is being drafted and is to be adopted by the end of the year. As the member of Majlis, Maulana Shimbayev, said at the expert meeting, 70% of the information on the government's work will be publicly available to the fellow citizens. Mayors, ministers and heads of universities will be obligated to hold reporting meetings with the population, while videos will be made available online for the people living in remote areas. Reports, statistics and other relevant information will be posted on the website of the open government. The ministries will be obligated to provide a response to citizens' requests within 20 days. The violators will be charged in accordance with the country's administrative regulations. A community council will be established specifically to monitor compliance with the new law.
Жаңа жылға дейін жұмысты аяқтаймыз ба деген жоспарымыз бар. Сондықтан енді бұған енді үкімет
Implementation of this law will increase the efficiency of government agencies, and this is one of the conditions in order to cope with various crises that are catching up with our country from the world economy. I believe that one of the factors why this law would work is its designation as one of the priorities of the head of state.
ішіндегі 100 қадамдардың ішіндегі менің ойымша негізгі қадамдардың бірі болады деп өзім сенемін.
The member of the Kazakh Senate, Ali Bektayev, has been elected the chairman of the AUL Social Democratic Party.
The new party leader was elected at the 10th Extraordinary Congress. The delegates from all countries' regions have attended the Congress. They represent regional units of the AUL party as the current chairman, Gani Kaliyev, resigned. He explained that his resignation was triggered by moving to a new position as the director of the National Agricultural Research and Education Center. Kaliyev will continue to contribute in resolving some of the agricultural sector issues in his new position, but with the help of scientists. Kaliyev proposed the candidacy of Ali Bektayev, acting deputy of Senate of the Kazakh parliament, as his successor. Bektayev led the party's division in the South Kazakhstan region and actively participated in its work in the early days. Bektayev's candidacy was accepted by the Congress unanimously. The party members are already aware of the direction the new leader is headed and are ready to follow him. Now our party has the representatives in the parliament, in the Senate.
в Сенате.
У нас здоровые амбиции. Для нас самое главное, чтобы...
We have big ambitions. The most important things for us are the life in the villages, economic improvement, peace, prosperity, stability in our country. Currently, over 60,000 members are enlisted in the party. Protection of the interests of rural workers and the development of the agricultural sector are the main goals of the party. According to the former chairman's opinion, backed by political scientists, the new leader with a fresh look, new ideas and initiatives should be at the helm of the party now. The AWL party chairman has changed. I hope that the party will become more involved in the political process. Relatively speaking, this is a shot of adrenaline, which helps in the resuscitation of the party, because before it still was less noticeable.
Я думаю, что партия АУЛ сможет...
I think that the AWL party will be able to put forward specific initiatives, specific proposals, including the development of agriculture and agribusiness.
и агропромышленного комплекса.
The opportunity to speak at the Congress was also presented to the members of the party. Each of them expressed in their speeches the belief that the Kazakh Social Democratic Party AWL will get stronger, will grow and develop further.
Kazakhstan's transition to a free-floating exchange rate of tenge will not have a negative impact on small and medium-sized businesses, the deputy chairman of the Damu Fund, Davlet Abulkairov, said to our reporters. According to Abulkairov, the Entrepreneurship Development Fund will continue supporting local businesses. Abulkairov explained that tenge's fluctuating rate will not affect the business assistance measures of the fund, as the financial aid subsidies are given in tenge. The fund is expected to increase the amount of the financial aid. So far, loans at a subsidized interest rate totaling 27 billion tenge have been provided to assist small and medium-sized businesses. The fund plans to finance 1,300 entrepreneurs, which will create 3,000 new jobs, Abulkairov said.
By the end of this year, the Damu Fund, in the framework of support of the state, plans to bring the third tranche of the Asian Development Bank in the amount of $228 million. It should be noted that all risks of the fund will be hedged and lending to SMEs will be carried out in tenge.
Governor of Akmola region Sergei Kulagin met with the local people last week. At the meeting, he said the local people affected by this spring's flash floods would receive new housing before November.
Kulagin visits the villages of Akmal, Orazak and Koshi every week. During his last visit, the head of the region made a few remarks to the representatives of construction companies. The Akmola Regional Governor's Office intends to terminate agreements with contractors who are behind the schedule. Fortunately, we got the first tranche of 1.5 billion tenge, and now things will speed up. One company is building 78 homes, another is constructing 22 semi-detached houses, while the third one is behind the schedule. I'm going to address this issue. If they don't fix things during the week, we will transfer the projects to the first company. Two high-rise buildings with 45 apartments each will be commissioned in the villages of Akmal and Koshi this year. Additional 100 semi-detached houses are being constructed as well. Unemployed family members who suffered from the flood are also working on the construction site together with the builders and are getting paid for it.
Another section of the Western Europe, Western China International Transit Corridor was put into operation in Kazakhstan. The Detour Road runs through Taraz and passes through the Bayzak and Jambul districts of the Jambul region. It is over 65 kilometers long. The 8th section of the road is covered with concrete plates. The remaining 57 kilometers are covered with asphalt. This part of the international route cost almost 18 billion tenge to the investors. 495 kilometers of the new road run through the Jambul region.
The cargo traffic load will be improved significantly in connection with the opening of the Detour Road. Why? Because a lot of traffic was on other roads to avoid the traffic in the city of Taraz. You know, traffic ran through the central part of the city. Therefore, firstly, the detour provides more convenience and speed. Secondly, it provides an increase in the overall traffic load. And most importantly, it also ensures the safety of traffic on the roads.
Kazakh schools' curriculum will move to new content by 2020, Kazakh Minister of Education and Science Sultan Sartayev reported on Tuesday. According to Sartayev, the new subject, natural science, will be introduced in elementary schools. Classes in information and communication technologies will be introduced to the third graders. In addition, the Education Ministry is considering the possibility of introducing history and geography of Kazakhstan in the Kazakh language and computer science, physics, chemistry and biology in English in all schools.
To implement a phased transition to teaching English in high school and universities is one of our top priorities at the moment. We must not forget that the top priority is learning the state language.
These changes will come into effect as of September 1st. They will primarily affect the teachers. They will have to monitor the results of the new system, while the students will have to adapt to the new curriculum. Kazakhstan's school curriculum will be fully updated within the next 5 years. All Kazakh students will have textbooks. The Ministry of Education assured. Today, 99% of the textbook needs are covered in schools. But the situation in the southern Kazakhstan with the lack of textbooks has raised some concern. The ministry has proposed to hold liable the parties who slowed the process down and almost left kids without the learning materials.
Mangistau school children were all provided with textbooks. They were among the first ones in the country to get them. 732,000 books were given out to 110,000 students. School teacher Bazarkul Baydauletova met with her disciples already 2 weeks prior to September 1st and handed out the necessary literature. Fortunately, the entrepreneurs also provided their assistance. 50,000 brand new textbooks were delivered to the city schools under the Book as a Gift campaign. I have 21 students in my 5th grade. Today, I have given out books to the rest, the remaining 4 children. We are fully prepared for the new school year. The Minister of Education and Science says every student will receive the textbooks no matter the grade. Each year, we change the textbooks of the 1st to 4th grade students. We completely repurchased textbooks for 4 grades. This year, local executive authorities allocated the necessary 13 billion tenge for students of the 4th to 6th and 11th grades. These books have already been purchased. Today, all 4 classes and schools will be provided with the study material 100%. An automated textbook program was introduced in the Karaganda region in order to avoid shortages and surpluses of school textbooks, a sort of book exchange by regions and saving millions of the state budget. Implementation of the program allowed redistributing 40,000 books from one area to another, and we have saved over 25 million tenge. The issue with textbooks this year was unpredictable. According to the Ministry of Education and Science, there's also school literature in the 6 connected schools in Baikonur. However, a little surprise is awaiting the 1st graders on September the 1st. The president himself will hand out the new book called My Homeland, Kazakhstan to them.
Kazakh cosmonaut Astana Betov is readying for the Soyuz TMA-18M spacecraft flight to the International Space Station scheduled for September 2nd. The expedition crew is currently taking the necessary training. Meanwhile, some of the crew members planted trees at the Cosmonauts Alley in Baikonur. So now there are trees named after the Kazakh cosmonaut Astana Betov and the first Danish astronaut Andreas Mogensen.
The foreign astronauts talked about the first impressions of the Kazakh national cuisine at a press conference. It is known that the Kazakh dishes will be served on the Earth's orbit for the first time ever. Astana Betov will take kazi, besparmak and mare's milk to the ISS. Of course, all products underwent special treatment and will be used in a freeze-dried form. We tasted products and dishes from Kazakhstan. Both the main and backup crews tried the dishes. We liked everything, although it was unusual to see and taste mare's milk in freeze-dried packages. I am very glad that I was given such trust. I will do my best to justify the trust of the Kazakhs. I am very pleased that Kazakhstan's manned cosmonautics as well as the scientific program will advance further. After the crew trained on a computer exerciser to manually manage convergence process of the Soyuz TM with the docking module of the ISS. Regular pre-flight testing for the astronauts are scheduled for August 28. There, the crew will be trained in the assembly and test facility. During their free time, the astronauts play pool, table tennis, chess, and watch movies. Every night, the crew members go to the cinema. Today, for example, they're going to watch Iron Man 3. And on August 31, they plan to see the legendary Soviet film, White Sun of the Desert.
A massive open-air museum will be opened in the Akmola region for the visitors, history enthusiasts, to discover firsthand the ancient monuments of the Great Steppes and learn about the formation of the Turkic Khanate. The museum will be located 120 kilometers from Astana in the Karagaylı village on the right bank of the Kumay River.
The museum will showcase monuments of the Bronze Age and early Iron Age, also of the Hunnic and Turkic periods. Studies have been ongoing since 2009. About 15 stone sculptures, the so-called balbals, were found in the region. Among them, the monuments of Kozbatir, Turkic culture, which are about 1,500 years. In one hand, warriors hold a sword that symbolizes belligerence, while in the other hand, they hold a vessel with water. Stones behind the statues symbolize mountains. The travelers left them as they passed by. Kos means a couple of heroes. They hold a vessel in the right hand. This is a ritual vessel, ayak. In the ancient Turkic dictionary, it means vessel, which was used during taking oaths. The stone balbals are vivid portraits of the ancient times. Specialists know that there aren't too many similar sites in Kazakhstan, and they are all in protected areas. The museum's territory is known to be generous and was called Kazakh Switzerland for the abundance of rivers and lakes. This land was vital. It was defended. There were people on guard who took oath to protect it. There are legal documents of 19th to 20th centuries during the times of forcible annexation of the Kazakh land. The oath, which was given by the water, and then they were afraid to walk on its soil. Also, the oath was given next to the graves of their ancestors. But when they went there, they did not step over the graves of their ancestors because they strongly believed that would harm them. Among other artifacts, there was a female sculpture that was found in the ruins. It was a priestess of the Turkic society. These statues were installed in places of worship to Tengri and Umay deities. Now, the archaeological expedition led by Professor of the Eurasian National University Ayman Dasimbayeva is continuing the research. Great expectations are connected with a place of sacrifice for the Hunnic period. This is a monument, Karagaylı 8. We are cleaning it at the moment. This is a religious building where people offered sacrifice. Excavations will show us if we are right. Most likely there will be pottery, animal bones, and human burials. Kumay project managers hope to join the ranks of tourist routes for foreign visitors of the International Exhibition Expo 2017. On top of that, the place is already of great interest among tourists.
It's my first time here. I'm from Lisbon, but actually I came to Kazakhstan. This is my third time in Kazakhstan, but in this place my first time, and I'm really enjoying. I think it's a very beautiful country, and there's a lot of places that are completely different from my country, so I'm really enjoying. Thank you.
The archaeological complex is near a small village with only 15 families. Locals believe that the opening of the museum will breathe new life into the tiny village. It would be good if the museum opens. Historical monuments will be opened. People would come and work here. The world will learn about this place. People will know our history, and we will get jobs. Save the unique historical heritage and pass it on to the future generation was the idea of the archaeologists. And in conjunction with the National Park Buratau, the museum can become a real center for the development of youth and ecotourism. However, the large-scale development project needs further support.
The scientific expedition that started on the 3rd of August and was titled Along the Routes of the Great Huns has come to an end. The expedition was dedicated to the 550th anniversary of the Kazakh Khanate.
Leaving from Astana, the expedition crossed about 4,500 kilometers. Visiting historical sites, the researchers visited the famous mausoleums, inspected the remains of ancient cities Sozak, Saganak, Sauron, and visited the capital of the Kazakh Khanate, Turkestan, and the monuments of Taraz. They got to see the native lands of Ali Khan Bukhanov, the burial of one of the last Kazakh rulers of the 19th century, Wali Khan, in the Akmola region.
Мы проводили такой сравнительный анализ
We conducted a comparative analysis of the landscape that was at the time, according to the historical data that we have and the current climate, the historical zone of Kazakhstan. In short, the results of the study will be reported to the public and they will be reflected in our books, studies, and they will be represented at conferences. According to the participants of the expedition, the visit to Ulitau was the most memorable. This place is called the heart of the Kazakh land. Various historical monuments are scattered throughout these lands.
Великолепный мавзолей Алашахана, по преданиям являвшегося первым казахским ханом.
There was a wonderful museum of Alash Khan, who was the first Kazakh Khan. Now historians argue, of course, who was the first real prototype of Alash Khan, but for every Kazakh his name is sacred. People consider themselves sons and children of Alash. The visit to this mausoleum impressed me very much.
И поэтому посетить, увидеть глазами этот мавзолей для меня было действительно произвело на меня очень большое впечатление.
These were the major news from Kazakhstan for the past week. Thank you for staying with me. I'll see you here same time next week. Goodbye.